But yeah, so my name's Natalie Given. That's Natalie. My last name is Given, Given. I'm the Public Information Officer with the Everett Police Department. So what I can tell you right now is that at approximately 1 p.m. today, the police department and the fire department received multiple calls that there was a boat sinking in Possession Sound, approximately 200 feet from shore. It was reported that one male, it was a male in his 50s, had been rescued from the boat, but 3 people were currently unaccounted for. Those people are one male in his 20s, one male in his 60s, and a female in her 40s. The male who was rescued was actually rescued by a passing boater, who I believe also reported this to 911. When fire and police arrived, they found a mostly submerged vessel. This is a 26-foot vessel. Fire and police attempted to raise the boat from the water, but unfortunately the boat sank, and those efforts were unsuccessful. Multiple law enforcement agencies, multiple fire departments, and the Coast Guard continued search efforts for multiple hours. What you should be able to see, and what you are seeing right now, are multiple law enforcement agencies still out on the water continuing what's now recovery efforts. The male who was rescued was transported to the hospital for an eval, but he is reportedly at this time uninjured. And that's what I can share with you guys right now.
What goes into that determination of shifting from an active search to recovery? Is it just time?
That would be my assumption, but I don't want to make any assumptions, so I will work to find an answer to that question for you.
Do you have any idea now what could have caused this boat to sink, or what these people were out in the water doing in the first place?
So the male who was rescued from the boat told reporters that he was out shrimping and the boat started taking on water, but exactly to what caused this to happen, I can't speak to that. At this point, we're still investigating.
Is this the first day of the is this the first day of the shrimp season?
I don't know if it's the first day, but again, I can work to find an answer for that for you as well.
Do we know if the other 3 people that are still missing, if they had like life vest jackets on the vessel or anything like that?
I think it's too early to say that. Yeah, we're still investigating.
As far as the concern of it's been almost 4 hours of you guys searching, as far as like water conditions, talk to us about that.
Ooh, I don't think I can really speak to that. It's cold. But beyond that, I can't really speak to like weather or water conditions today, but I can work to find an answer for that for you as well.
How big of an area are you searching? I mean, I feel like we've seen boats like pretty much across the sound here. How large is the search area at this time?
So the boat reportedly sank in approximately 110 feet of water, but as far as it could have traveled, I, again, can't really speak to that at this point, but I can work to find an answer for that as well. These are all good questions.
Now, what do you mean by recovery versus rescue, specifically?
Again, we kind of talked about that. I think it might be like a time period, like enough time has passed where we can't speak to the condition of the people who are outstanding. So we're going to continue recovery efforts, but I think it's just more unknown as to what we might find at this point.
I just want to make sure I'm clear, because I think there's like an idea that recovery means we don't think that we can save these people anymore. Rescue means we still can.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that if that's not what you're saying, but you're saying recovery for sure.
So we're recovery for sure.
Okay.
As far as like what differentiates that, I want to make sure I have the language very exact for you.
Okay.
So I will ask our Marine Sergeant.
Can you put a message out there? We're sort of entering the start of boating season. People are out on the water, about what people need to do if something like this were to happen to them when they're out on the water.
Is that something that we can do?
Anything that people can do as they head on the water to ensure that if something like this happens to them, they're in the best position to be safe.
Absolutely. That we can do that, to answer your question. But I think yes, we need to be wearing life vests, but I can't speak to if that was a factor in this at all, right? So in terms of like what public education is needed from this point on, I think that'll depend on to what ultimately caused this.
Do you know how they all knew each other?
No, I don't know how they were associated. Only that they were reportedly out shrimping.
And did it how it went down, or did they like put a mayday out or anything? Because the boat went down, right?
A boat went down, and it was people called in. They said, we see a boat sinking approximately 200 feet from shore. We're in Possession Sound. And actually, a passing boat rescued that one male, and they called it in as well.
Do you know if these people were from the Everett area, Mukilteo, Seattle?
I do not know.
Was there a missing kayaker here last week?
Not last week. We had a missing kayaker last year, yes.
Last year. Is there something about the water here that like impacts boats more so than others? Because it seems like they go down a lot.
I really can't speak to like ocean conditions.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I had answers to that, but I don't. I mean, they're both just, unfortunate, very, very unfortunate circumstances.
What do your recovery efforts look like through the rest of the night? Will you guys stay out here? Is it going to, like, resources get pulled back?
I mean, I think it ultimately depends on what we find.
Okay.
So right now I know that we have Fish and Wildlife out here with the side sonar. Our marine team is out there. Our divers are out there. Fire had rescue swimmers out here. Coast Guard has multiple resources out here. We had drones up. Coast Guard sent air support. So that's kind of what we're working with. Those resources may change.
How common are water rescues for you guys as we start to enter these summer months?
That's a really good question, and I can also work to find an answer for you for that one. I'm not, super well versed on what this generally looks like, or if there's any sort of pattern. These are all just, unfortunate circumstances.
Sorry.
Have there been any signs, I mean, whether it be seeing something in the water since first responders have been out here? Was the last sighting that person or the last to call it in?
The last interaction that we had with the boat was when it sunk.
And there was someone rescued, right?
Yes, one person was rescued and 3 people are unaccounted for.
Are they able to provide any deets? Have you talked to them? Did the people get out of the boat that he was with? Just kind of like, have you been able to talk to the person who was with them?
I'm not privy to those details of
Okay.
the investigation, but if we thought that they had gotten out of the water, that might, dictate what we were doing now.
So you might not know, but is he able to talk to y'all?
Is he? I believe that
Person rescued.
he has spoken to investigators.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said it was a 26-foot fishing vessel?
I don't know if it was a fishing vessel,
a
but it was a
boat.
26-foot vessel.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Anything else, you guys? Okay. So every question